Welcome back to Faith and Fire, where we explore the gospel, culture, and truth in a world that increasingly rejects both. In our last episode, we looked at the cultural collapse happening in the UK and how modern ideology can function as a counterfeit religion, powerful, persuasive, but ultimately incapable of forgiveness, truth, or lasting hope. Today we're taking the conversation a step further. We'll examine why morality, purpose, and truth cannot be grounded in secularism alone, why Christian ethics are the only firm foundation for right and wrong, and why Jesus, a real historical person, provides the clearest path to understanding God and living rightly. This isn't about outrage or culture war shouting. This is about clarity, reason, and evidence, because the evidence, when followed honestly, points to God and Jesus Christ. Let's start with morality. Every society acts as if some things are right, and some things are wrong. Even secularists, even those who reject God, still argue about justice, human rights, and fairness. Why? Because moral truth exists. It cannot be escaped. Secularism tries to explain morality without God, but it fails. If there is no transcendent standard, then morality becomes subjective. Evolution may explain why we have instincts to cooperate, but it cannot tell us that cruelty is wrong. It just tells us it might be unwise for survival. Human feelings, culture, or consensus cannot justify the deep oughts that every law, every conscience, every moral debate assumes. Christianity, by contrast, grounds morality in God's character. God is holy, just, and good. What He commands is good because He is good. Moral truths are not invented. They are discovered in the nature of the Creator. This gives life, law, and conscience their meaning. Without God, morality is ultimately arbitrary. With God, it is firm, objective, and life-giving. Now, let's turn to Jesus. Christianity is not merely a moral philosophy. It is rooted in history. Jesus lived. Scholars, even secular historians, agree on the basics. He existed, He taught, He performed miracles according to multiple early sources, and He was crucified under Pontius Pilate. The New Testament manuscripts are some of the most reliable historical documents in existence. There are thousands of copies, very close in time to the originals, with consistent accounts across independent sources. The life, death, and resurrection of Jesus are historically grounded, not myth. Why does this matter? Because morality and truth cannot come from a fictional figure. The authority of Jesus teaching the Sermon on the Mount, His commands to love, to forgive, to pursue justice, rests on the fact that He actually lived. Obedience to Him is not blind superstition. It is grounded in reality. Beyond history, evidence for God surrounds us. The universe is not chaotic. It is finely tuned. Life is complex in ways that cannot be explained by chance alone. Consciousness, rationality, and moral intuition all point beyond mere material processes. The greatest scientists, from Newton to modern cosmologists, recognize that the order and intelligibility of the universe suggest a creator. When we look at creation, and at the historical record, it points consistently to one conclusion: there is a God, and that God is revealed supremely in Jesus Christ. What does all this mean for us? Secularism may function superficially. People can follow rules, work hard, even act generously, but without God, it is ultimately unsatisfying, morally, existentially, and spiritually. Christianity, grounded in the reality of Jesus and the character of God, gives life coherence and purpose. Right and wrong are not arbitrary. Life is not meaningless. Faith is not superstition. It is the framework through which we understand ourselves, the universe, and God. To ignore this evidence is to live in contradiction. We act as if morality exists, yet deny the source. We seek purpose, yet reject the one who gives it. All around us is evidence, in history, in creation, and in our own consciences, that God exists, and that Jesus is real. To follow Him is not blind faith. It is following the evidence to its rightful conclusion. If you're listening and sensing a hunger for truth, purpose, and moral certainty, consider the claims of Christ. The evidence invites us to believe, to obey, and to live rightly. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Faith and Fire.